Hello, welcome to the Citrus Garden. If you're new here, my name is Christina. If you're not new here, hi, welcome back. It's great to see you. This is a reading for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, or if you have any other Virgo placements, there may be a message in here for you. So Virgo, to get started, I'm getting a bit of a Mars energy with you, specifically like iron. So there may be something about... It could be like pain in the physical body that you're feeling. It could have to do with sort of like tension or stress, that kind of thing. Because right now we have Mars in Cancer. It's going to be moving into Leo November 3rd, which is in like a week or two. So I feel like there may be sort of this energy here, especially because Mars being in Cancer is a bit of sort of like an internal, like going inside kind of energy, nesting, security and protection are really highlighted. And Mars in Leo might be like a very significant shift in terms of like taking action on something. Because there was this Virgo reading that I did, I don't know, like a month or two ago. I'll link it above. I can't remember what it's called. But there was this energy of like wanting to do something or go towards something. But this feeling of like not feeling like ready yet or that kind of energy. So I was feeling like this kind of anxiety with you about like wanting to do something, wanting to take action on something, but like there are circumstances outside of your control. It was kind of feeling like interference of some sort. I don't know in what way. It just kind of feels like there's some sort of energy around you that's like preventing forward movement, like getting stuck in traffic, for example, like that kind of thing. Or that there's like energies in your environment that are feeling kind of, it just feels like interference. Like I'm thinking of like static, like the signal is not strong because there's static. Anyways, so this feeling of anxiety of, because I feel like there's something here about timing that you're trying to get right, Virgo. Like, it kind of feels like if I, like, as an example, like say you're trying to meet a friend, right? But you get stuck in traffic. So it's like, worry that this friend, might leave or that kind of thing, or if it's like a party or something, like you don't want to be late is how it's coming through. You don't want to be late. I feel like whoever is waiting for you, quote unquote, Virgo, there's this energy here of like, there's a grace period, right? That they're going to understand. I was getting the phrase like the party doesn't start until you arrive, Virgo. So you don't have to worry about that kind. Like it's kind of coming through more of like a fear of missing out on something, right? A bit of FOMO, like fear that if you don't show up soon, or if you don't show up or whatever, something happens where you get delayed, you're going to miss out on whatever this is. And it's kind of just saying like, calm down, take a deep breath. Whatever it is that is happening for you, it is in divine timing, right? It's like the party is not going to start until you get there, Virgo. So just some reassurance coming through for you. Mars and Leo might be a good time to take action, because I feel like right now Mars in Cancer is not really the best energy to be like moving forward on things, right? It's more of an energy of protection and protection, safety, security kind of energy. Okay. So Virgo, there's another message coming through. It feels kind of unrelated to this. an example from Harry Potter is often a lot of the messages that I get are through that. There's a scene in like the sixth book or something. I can't remember, one of those ones. It's one of, okay, anyways, doesn't matter what book it is. Where I feel like you're in this energy of Ron Weasley as an example today, and there's Fred and George who are his older brothers. He has many older brothers, but these are like the ones that are closest in age to him. The twins in one of the years end up leaving school early, like not graduating school, in order to go and start their own like joke shop, basically. And they go out with a bang. But I feel like there's something about you're in this position of being Ron Weasley, which is interesting, because I feel like there's something about a separation that you're feeling with people that you feel close to, but they're going off to start something, and maybe you're still having to finish school, metaphorically. So there's something coming through like that for you, which is interesting. I'm not sure how that's going to play out in the reading, but that was just a message that was coming through. Ooh, the vulture. Interesting, yeah, the vulture. This is an energy of purification, purifying something, and it feels kind of like an environment, right? Like an environmental factor. Because of that sort of energy of interference, like something in your environment perhaps is preventing the signal to come through strongly for you, whatever that signal represents. It could be like a connection of some sort. It could just be like your internal guidance system, your intuition maybe. Something within the environment maybe that is impacting your intuition or your ability to see clearly. But I feel like with the vulture, because this card talks about, it's a very mystic kind of energy where ingesting toxins, so to speak, right? Like harmful energies, transmuting them within yourself, and it causes like healing of yourself, but also like the environment. That's how it's coming through, Virgo. Yeah, I don't want to use this deck because that was just for the message. Okay, that was just for the other Virgo reading that I was getting. Interesting. So there's this energy of a vulture. That also comes in with sort of like a Scorpio energy, like change. Something's changing. I feel like you are causing a change in something. It's kind of getting rid of the static or the interference. In a connection is kind of how it's coming through, but it's your intuition is really important in this. It's almost like you're clarifying something through your intuition. Because imagine if there was like static, for example. The next card you have is Tarantula. Imagine if you have static, for example, in like a radio signal. And so it's kind of like some of the messages get sort of like distorted, like you can't quite make out some of the words or that kind of thing. So it's like having to use your intuition or context or whatever in order to like fill in the blanks. That's how it's kind of feeling. So maybe there's something there about that. Interesting though that this vulture is looking right at the tarantula. I feel like that's not you. Well, maybe there, I'm going to read that card. This came out in another reading. I can't remember which one it was. Now, if I remember, I'll link it above. Being put on the spot was the message that was coming through. I can't remember what sign it was, though. At a crossroad, claiming life's purpose. The tarantula represents a moment when a great decision must be made. It involves prioritizing your life's deeper purpose or dharma. A habit or routine from the past is sidetracking you from your dream, yet a voice inside keeps begging you to refocus your attention. In order to find true happiness, you must choose dharma. Until you do, satisfaction will be fleeting. The tarantula hovers, patient and calm, like an old friend that knows your inner soul. It already knows you'll choose wisely, yeah. When in balance, follows intuition. When out of balance, hesitates, over-intellectualizing. So, okay, so this may be an aspect of you. Of, like, having to make an important decision about something. Because this energy can also come with a bit of anxiety, Virgo. Now I'm thinking that maybe this vulture isn't you. That's the thing, though. There's still a bit of static or interference is how it's feeling to me. Having to remove the static. I don't know what that is. It's kind of like the message is there. It's underlying. The message is there, but the static is preventing you from hearing it, is how it's coming through. I don't know what the static is, though. There's like an overlapping signal is how it's feeling, and the overlapping signal may be causing hesitation or anxiety, right? Like that kind of thing. Confusion, perhaps. This tarantula energy feels a bit something that's like very difficult to look away from, because so it's difficult to look away from because it's almost like there's something about like a fear about this energy. Like if you take your eyes off this energy, if you take your eyes off of this energy, that somehow it will be even worse, right? Because it's like there's a spider somewhere in your room and you don't know where it is. Like it's that kind of feeling of like, okay, I better keep my eye on it so that it doesn't end up on my face when I'm sleeping. Like it's that kind of energy, trying to keep your eye on something. Trying to keep your eye on something that perhaps causes fear or anxiety or something like that, because not knowing where it is or what it's doing is more scary than not looking at it, if that makes sense. So it's like something that you're maybe afraid of or it causes anxiety in some way, but looking away is worse. Interesting. That's very interesting. Because there was another reading I did, like, I don't remember when it was, but I was outside and there was a spider that popped up beside me and then it disappeared, and that almost made it worse. That's how it's coming through. Something where it's like you don't want this energy around you, but the not knowing it feels worse to you. That's how it's coming through. Interesting, because it's like the vulture is not taking its eyes off the tarantula. Very interesting. Maybe you, Virgo, are I don't know. There's like this like hissing energy here, kind of like when an animal hisses as a warning. Okay. That's very interesting. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. I'm just reading what I see. It's like I can't even pull another card because this this dynamic is so yeah, no, I'm not going to pull another card. That's what this... Okay, and I stopped shuffling. The shark is at the bottom of the deck. That card talks to me about subconscious energies, which can be fear. It can be fear. I actually feel though, for you, Virgo, it's not really fear in terms of 1 second. Excuse me. It's not really fear in terms of like there's like an avoidance energy. Maybe you are facing a fear here. It feels more like keeping an eye on something. Keeping an eye on something is how it's coming through. It's like trying to... I don't know. This tarantula energy, I feel like it's almost coming through as being like... Excuse me. Making sure somebody does the right thing. Interesting. I'm not sure about this tarantula energy. It's not feeling great to me. It feels kind of like so I don't think this is something that you are, because for you it almost feels like you're trying to clear out this energy in some way, right? You're trying to clear something out, but it's like you're keeping an eye on it just in case it decides to do something unexpected. That's how it's feeling. Like so it doesn't necessarily feel like I don't know. I don't know what this is. If it's like, it feels past to me, honestly. It feels kind of like something from the past that you're keeping an eye on to make sure there are no sudden movements, nothing unexpected is going to come back like that. It's that kind of energy, being watchful, being cautious, being guarded a little bit, Virgo, from the past, to make sure that nothing is going to come back to bite you, is how it's feeling. But you are going through this sort of ending process, is how it's coming through to me. I'm getting kind of like this, I used to play piano very long time ago when I was younger. There was this one song, I can't remember what it's called, but for some reason it sounds like tarantula. It sounds like tarantula, like the word tarantula is like activating that memory of like this song that was like really jittery and like frenetic and like had a lot of like anxious energy around it. It's kind of like I'm hearing the word jig, like a jig, but not in a fun way. That's how it's going through. Interesting. Okay, Virgo. Okay, so this card is about co-creation. Water, spring, and earth. It's about how everything is a co-creation, right? Everything came from somebody else's work, is how it's coming through. So even though magic is real, and trust me, it most certainly is, nothing on this planet emerges from nothing. Everything that we see and everything that we experience here on Earth is an outpouring from someone else. It sounds so simple, and yet it is unimaginably profound. All that you consider yours came from another. The chair you're sitting on, someone made that. And someone else chopped down the wood that was used to construct it, and someone else made the screws that hold the pieces of that chair in place, and someone else forged the metal that made those screws, while another person mined the metal from the earth, which gave the person the material to mold into screws to build things for other people to sit on. Everything on this planet is a synthesis of other people's manifestations and hard work. Recognize the effort and the collaboration that has gone into everything that you have and use and love. Honor the ones who have poured their gifts into your life. Interesting. What I also get with this card is this energy of like finding almost like a spring in the middle of a desert, right? Like finding nourishment and nectar, so to speak, in a place that doesn't have that much. It kind of comes through as this like taking a break or getting some sort of nourishment or sustenance from an environment that doesn't have that much is how it's coming through. So I feel like Virgo, you're actually in this like very you're in a process is how it's feeling to me. You're in I mean everyone's always in a process of some sort. It feels though kind of like this process of turning well, that's the thing. There's never nothing, right? There's never nothing. So, there's always something. Turning something into another thing that you can use is how it's feeling to me. Maybe you are creating something, but it feels kind of like creating nourishment from what is around you. It's kind of coming through as creating something from nothing, but that's not the right way of phrasing it, because it's never nothing, right? You don't start from nothing. You always start from something. Okay, and there's that constellation there is Orion, right? Orion and the belt there. So a hunter energy might be kind of significant for you. Because now it's kind of coming in here, Virgo, of like you hunting something, right? Like, so maybe this tarantula is some sort of opportunity of some sort. It doesn't feel like that though. No, it doesn't feel like, I don't know, we'll see. I don't know, it's strange, but it does feel like you have your eye on something. Interesting. Fire, tribal fire, earth, and there's more of that sort of like constellation energy. This one talks about like narratives, I think, like stories. Okay, I'm not going to pull another one right now. Yeah, stories are the building blocks of society. Our mythologies create our culture, our mythologies shape our tribes, and our mythologies structure our families. If we find ourselves dissatisfied with our world as it is, then we have to get real about the material we are using to create it. Remember that you are co-creating this reality structure with your every thought and your every word. Be mindful of the stories you are telling, dear one, and be sure that the narratives you are sharing are tales of triumph and tales of love, of peace and of harmony, such that you are consciously building the reality you want to be living in. It's really interesting because these images are kind of mirroring one another, right? This kind of like darkness and light. They're both in the desert, and then there's something in the center, the elements here, where you have fire and then you have water. So I feel like maybe there's something here about like, so co-creation for sure for you, Virgo. There's a co-creative energy here. You're co-creating with the universe. And it's talking about the materials that you are using to create at the moment. I feel like what is established for you is using this fire. Using fire to create, right? So inspiration, creativity, passion, that kind of thing. But I feel like there's also this energy of like the universe is wanting you to create with water instead, is how it's coming through. So, because it kind of feels like this tarantula does feel kind of like a past energy, because it is fire today. It is a fire element. So in the past, perhaps, you used fire to create in whatever way that is for you. That was part of the material that you used to create, or the energy that you used to create in. But I feel like you are at this point of making a different choice here, because it's kind of like this is at a crossroads. That's sort of how it's feeling. And there's this vulture energy of integrating something from the past, because it does feel kind of like you're at the end of this cycle, but you're looking back to sort of collect the wisdom of it. That's how it feels. You're looking back at a past cycle to collect the wisdom of what it is that you created using fire, is how it's coming through. Because the new thing that I feel like is wanting to come in for you is using water to create. Interesting. So it's almost like you're switching elements in terms of like how you create something. The shark here at the bottom of the deck is significant because that's kind of coming through as being subconscious energies, and the nightingale underneath that is coming through with a bit more water, because there's something here about the way that you express something, like your expression is also significant here, because that's part of your co-creation as well, like what you put out into the world, the stories that you tell, right? The stories that you want to tell. The things that you want to create in your reality. There's something about switching elements, because I feel like the fire for some reason has come to an end in some way, or that there's like some sort of ending in terms of the fire being the main source of your creativity, is how it's coming through. Yeah, interesting. Land, flower, and star. I really love this card. This is a very Virgo card, right? And it talks about blooming. It talks about blooming, that you're in this cycle of blooming, Virgo. I'm going to read this one. Okay. The soul of spring has come for you. It doesn't matter what the calendar says. Your life is in bloom. Celebrate. Just as the flowers awaken to the warmth of the sun's proximity, so too is your heart blossoming now. This is an expansive moment in your earth walk. There is a mirth and a lightness emanating from your spirit that is drawing others near. They sense your majesty and are drawn to the fragrant energy you are giving off. There is nothing you can do to hide your radiance, so allow yourself to bask in the attention and enjoy it. You are blooming. Let people smell your petals and admire your blossoms. You are an inspiration to so many in this moment. Yeah. Because it feels kind of like you are in a period of growth, Virgo, or you're about to be. If you're not there yet, it kind of feels like you're closing out a cycle. That's how it feels. Closing out a cycle of when like fire was the dominant energy for you, right? Because fire can be destructive, right? And I feel like whatever it is that you're wanting to create now is growth. So fire is not going to help you in this case, is how it's coming through. What you need is water and earth. Interesting. Yeah, because I'm seeing this sort of like spiral in the hand there as being like creating with water, right? Having water in your hands. Water as a tool. Water as the material as well is how it's feeling to me. Yeah, fire, volcano, sun. This is a feeling of interesting that there's a fire card there, because you also have here 75, right? 75. The numbers are really coming through. 32, which adds to 5. And then 7 here at the bottom, and now 2. So 2, 5, and 7 are really coming in as important numbers for you. This card talks about like releasing something, like going after what you want. There's some sort of desire. It does talk about like this is kind of feeling like a Mars energy for you. So again, I'm not saying that fire is bad. I'm not saying that fire is not going to be part of your manifestations moving forward, because you always need all of the elements, right? I just feel like the last cycle was more fire was dominant is how it's coming through. Yeah, this card talks about releasing limitations that are holding you back from expressing the fullness of your majesty and your uniqueness. Give yourself permission to be empowered without submission, guilt, or shame. Interesting. Let your creativity explode like a great and mighty volcano of love and beauty and magic. Release what is wanting to come forth and claim your role as a creator. Let this burst of creativity erupt and inspire others to do the same. Okay, so there's something about fire here and like the appropriate use of fire. Because I feel like there's something here about like, I don't know, whatever it was in the past, there was some lesson learned perhaps. But there's something here about using your fire to drive action, whether or not that, like, so how do I phrase this? Because it's kind of coming through in like, I feel like there's this energy of timing that's important. Again, that Mars and Leo energy is really feeling significant for this, because it might not be right now as you're watching this. It might not be the right time at the moment, but it is approaching soon is how it's coming through. An opportunity to release this energy. It feels kind of like releasing any limitations you might have placed on yourself to let some aspect of your creativity flow. Okay, the thing about fire as well is also knowing when to sort of, when it is to go and when it is to like pull back, or to be more in this sort of like soft energy or warmth energy. There's a really interesting dynamic here. I wasn't expecting that to come through like that. Because I feel like there is maybe a reluctance to tap into this energy with the fire. Because maybe there was a situation in the past where you got burned by that, you know, metaphorically. There may have been a situation in the past where your fire burned, you got burned by fire or something like that, or there was too much heat, too much passion, too much anger, whatever it is, that may have caused like sort of a difficult ending or tough situation or something like that. But it feels like you're in this stage here with the vulture of somehow learning the lesson of what that past energy was, right? Like integrating it, understanding what happened, what went wrong, how to fix it, maybe how to do better the next time. So it's like, because the next time you do need fire, you do need it in order to break through some sort of limitation, but doing it in a way that's not going to end in sort of a destructive kind of energy or something like where someone gets burned, you or another. Because you do need fire. That's how it's coming through. You do need fire, but I feel like, Virgo, there was perhaps a reluctance to use your fire because of a past experience where maybe that didn't end up in your favor. Is how it's coming through. So I do feel that you are working with water at the moment, right? Especially with this energy of the vulture of like cleaning something out, right? Like cleaning something out, or the word that's coming through is purifying something. But that there will be a time, perhaps in the near future, in a couple of weeks, where you are going to be tapping into fire again, is how it's coming through. And so being aware of that. Fire is not a bad thing, but you have to know how to control it. Oh, that's so interesting. Okay. Okay, so you have 4 cards coming up for the center. 4 cards, and they all have the number 4 in them. That's really interesting. So you have 41 and 14, which are mirrors. Okay, Virgo. So that's how it's feeling to me. Your center right now is very stable. Your core, what's at the middle of what your energy right now, is this like stability with the 4. And because it's kind of coming through with a bit of like snow, you have 2 snow cards here. There's this period of sort of like waiting for something, or like sort of preserving your energy, right? With the 4, trying to remain stable, but around you feels like there's a lot of change happening. So it's kind of like there's, there might be sort of like that's the thing. There's a lot of change that I feel like is related to a past event. So maybe there is sort of like this energy here of like something from the past is catching up to you, right? And you're keeping an eye on it to make sure that there's nothing unexpected about that's gonna sort of like come back around in a negative way. But being prepared for that if there is. I feel like there's something here though. I'm gonna read this card because this is one that I haven't seen before. Sky, snow, star. Anyways, what was I saying? There's an energy of change around you. I feel like you're getting ready for a change. And in the meantime, sort of like centering yourself. Okay, the name of the game on this planet is evolution. You, my dear, came here to evolve, not to be perfect, not to impress other people, and not to collect likes for your bikini selfies or your six-pack stomach situation. Earth is an evolutionary realm. What this means is that you need to get real with yourself. You cannot hide from your shadows or your issues. You must look within and get clear on what is and what isn't serving you, as well as what it's time to shift and to let go. To stubbornly cling to that which is no longer serving you and to pretend that it's all fine and pop rocks is a false means of achieving power. You're far too lit to settle for false power. Take some time out for introspection and self-inquiry and acknowledge the triggers and the traumas that are ready to be transmuted. It doesn't have to be hard or painful or labor-intensive. These aspects are simply inviting acknowledgement so that you can gracefully move on and reclaim the true power that is naturally yours. Yeah. Okay, so Virgo, it does feel kind of hermity. It feels kind of hermity right now. Especially here, there's this sort of portal, right? An opportunity maybe, or like an invitation to step out of this sort of hermit energy that you have been in, is how it's coming through. I feel like right now you're looking at the past and integrating energies from the past to see where things went wrong, where things could have been done better. And I feel like there is this opportunity here, right? Because this energy also came out in yesterday's Taurus reading. This energy of like the mountain losing its top, so to speak. But then there's this flow of lava, because I feel like there's something about like whatever this new thing is for you, whatever this new path is for you, feels like you will have to let something go from the past that is not serving you, right? And it feels kind of like self-limitations. It could be a fear of fire. That's how it's feeling a little bit, like a bit of fear of fire, because it's like all of your energy right now is snow, right? It's like the snowy energy and this thing as well, because it's like maybe some aspect of your power has been locked down, is how it's coming through. Like you've locked down some aspect of your true power. And I feel like this is what's coming through. Your true power is wanting to be unleashed, right? Or to be set free in some way. But Virgo, there's a but here where it feels like there's a bit of a fear of your true power. Maybe because it caused sort of like hurt in the past for you, in whatever way that is. But it's like wanting to be released in some way, right? Like not playing small anymore. That's how it's coming through. Wanting to sort of reach some sort of new level of expansion for you. Not playing small, not playing by other people's rules, that kind of thing. But right now you're integrating a past energy. So keep doing that. Keep doing that. I feel like because this reading is coming through, it's not time yet. It will be time soon. And this reassurance for you, Virgo, the party doesn't get started until you get there, right? It's like part of like your path to I don't know, there's something about like a task or something. A responsibility that you have maybe. And it's like it will wait for you. Whatever this task or responsibility is, it's yours. You're not going to miss out on it because it's part of your destiny. That's how it's coming through. You don't have to stress about that. Divine timing is working in your favor. So just let go of sort of the like extra pressure that you may be putting on yourself to get there at a certain time. It's like you'll know when it's time. Okay. I'm going to leave it there, Virgo. If this reading resonated with you, please like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for sharing your energy with me, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.